Welcome to Nourished with Ruth. Ruth here, your clinical nutritionist, and today we are going to be talking about breast milk alternatives. Last week we've been talking about breastfeeding, how to express breast milk, and the last video we did was on how to observe hygiene during expressing breast milk, and I did mention a few things about storage of breast milk. And that raised a lot of questions, especially for mothers who are either going back to work, who are students, and mothers who do not have enough breast milk or will no longer be able to be taking care of their babies themselves. So with that, the question was, what are the alternatives that I have for my baby? So to start off, I want to insist on the fact that breast milk is the best food for your baby for the first 6 months of their life, not unless they were preterm. So remember how we talked about preterms and the added breastfeeding time based on the time they were born. So basically, breast milk is the best food for your baby for 0 to 6 months because it helps build their immunity. It's readily available, and at the same time it helps you bond with your baby. You don't want to be struggling with bonding with your baby, because that's why we have mothers whose babies don't know them, because maybe you didn't breastfeed enough or you never breastfed at all, you are away. So basically there is that, and I'm not saying this to give you mom guilt. All I'm saying is what is recommended. Now let's come to the mother who is here and you know that you will be going back to work at a certain point in time. You see, 1 month to that time that you're supposed to go back to work, you're supposed to come in for a consultation so that we can plan on how to start expressing breast milk and storing it, especially if you have a freezer in your house, a fridge that has a freezer or just a freezer. If you have that, come, let's start planning on it. Reach out to me. We plan on how to prepare for that time when you'll be going back to work or when you'll be away from your baby. The first 3 months can be used to ensure that your baby is well fed for the next 3 months once you're back to work, because I believe most workplaces here in Kenya give you 90 leave days, 90 maternity leave days. So we prepare for that period, know what to do, and your baby will be well taken care of. And then remember how inexpensive breast milk is as compared to other alternatives. So that is why I always say breast milk is always our first option, but that is in a perfect case scenario. And now we come to those mothers who you're going back to work today and you didn't know about this, and now you don't have a way of preparing for your baby's breastfeeding, or you just had a situation that keeps you away from your baby and your baby doesn't have breast milk to take, and you're not there to provide it. So what do you do? What are the alternatives? Honestly, please don't give your babies cow's milk. Don't give your babies camel milk. I've heard of goat milk. Don't. Let's find formula milk, breast milk formula. And it should be for ages 0 to 6 months. There are brands that will call it, let's say the brand name 1, something like that. And it should be something that is good for your baby. Excuse me. So why do I say that you need to be very careful? Because some babies are lactose intolerant, so you might start giving the formula milk and we start experiencing diarrhea. You might start giving the formula milk and we start experiencing constipation. So when that happens, what we do? You come to hospital, we find alternatives, because there are always alternatives. Is that okay? So when I say you're supposed to give breast milk formula, you just don't give for the sake of giving. It's given based on the weight of your baby. So you take the current weight of your baby, multiply it by a certain figure, and then you divide it by the number of feeds that you want to give, so that you're able to feed your baby sufficiently, so they are well fed and they get to gain weight. During this time that you're giving breast milk formula, I insist you're not supposed to start giving other things, because it's just but an alternative to breastfeeding. We are still supposed to to practice what is it, exclusive breastfeeding. So at this point we're just negating from that. So there are mothers who will purely do replacement feeding, where you completely replace breast milk with formula milk, or you do mixed feeding, where you give the milk formula for the times that you don't have the milk, and when you have the breast milk, you give the breast milk. That's mixed feeding. Those are the two things that I recommend at this point. And for mixed feeding or replacement feeding, the feeds should be evenly spaced out, either 2-hourly feeds or 3-hourly feeds. So basically you're not supposed to be feeding your baby any later than 3 hours. Is that all right? The baby needs to be well fed at all times, and your baby shouldn't be fed any later than 3 hours. And then how to dilute, how to prepare the breast milk formula. You use warm water, never cold water, never hot water, just warm water, and give and add the scoops based on the formula that you're using. There are scoops that will say add a scoop to 25 ml. There are formulas that will say add a scoop to 25 ml. There are formulas that will say add a scoop to 30 ml of warm water. Whatever it says, that's what you do. But the amount that we give is based on the weight of our baby. So in as much as we might both have a 3-month-old, if my 3-month-old baby is 4 kgs and your 3-month-old baby is 5 kgs, the amounts are different. And we don't stop at that amount. We give based on the appetite of the baby. There's a baby who will take, let's say, 50 ml of breast milk, and they are okay. They are well satisfied. They don't have a problem. They're good. There's another baby who will take 70 and still want more. So based on the appetite of your baby, that's what guides that. So with that, it's important, once you start doing replacement feeding, it's quite important that you always go for weighing and adjustment of feeds every 2 weeks. So your growth monitoring clinics will no longer be monthly, but every fortnight. Every 2 weeks you go to hospital, your baby is weighed, we calculate a new amount that they're supposed to take for the next 2 weeks, so that we are not underfeeding the baby. So I hope I've answered your question comprehensively. Let me know in the comment section whether you have any other questions, and kindly do not be afraid, share my videos with other mothers, because I realize now that there's a lot of questions that we hold back from asking because either we are afraid or we just assume. Don't be scared. You can never ask anything stupid when it comes to your baby, and no one knows it all. And don't feel like there's anything wrong with you for not knowing something. The only other thing that I'm going to insist, if you ever have your baby not pee for a whole day, from morning until, let's say, from 7 to around 3-4, we've not peed, that's a medical emergency. You go to the nearest health facility to get your baby checked. So guys, that's it for today's video. Let me know what you want to hear next. I prepared to talk about complementary feeding, now that we've been talking about babies 0 to 6 months. So what are you supposed to do after the baby gets to 6 months? What feeds are you supposed to give your baby? So that's what we are going to be talking about in our next video on Friday. See you then, guys. Love you. Bye. And let's stay nourished with Ruth.